So there's been a lot of talk about the Halifax real estate market lately, but how do we get here? So it's a lot of little things which really created a perfect storm which has now forged the current market conditions that we're seeing here in Halifax today. So in no particular order, here's kind of how we got here. Here's a bunch of reasons why. And actually, before I keep going, if you like this content and you want to see more, click the subscribe button. I post 2 videos a week on YouTube about the Halifax real estate market. So if you're interested in seeing that content, hit the notification bell so you know when I post. Also, if you want to book a call or a buyer consultation or a seller consultation with me at any time, use the Calendly link in the description below to book when it's convenient for you. So here we go. Number 1, growing population. So this one's pretty obvious. There's a lot of people moving to Halifax, and also, Statistics Canada just released a report saying that Halifax is the fastest growing downtown in the last 5 years. From 2016 to 2021, we saw a 26% growth. So number 2, interest rates are extremely low right now, which is bringing more demand and more buying power for these particular buyers to our market. I recently got a 1.46% variable rate interest on my rental property that I did in Halifax, and really, I mean, it's free money at that point. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned the baby boomers yet. So number 3, baby boomers. Yes, Karen, this is partially your fault. When we look back at a lot of the inventory over the last 5 to 10 years, it was a lot of baby boomers downsizing, getting out of the housing market, going to apartments. So when you think back, there was a lot of that classic baby boomer style housing, which was like, you know, a bungalow in Dartmouth, which was totally updated except for the kitchen, bathroom, flooring, paint, and light. But everything major was updated. These are great houses for young people to buy because the major ticket items were already taken care of. Now, in 2022, now that we're here, a lot of those baby boomers have already gotten out of the market and they're into apartments. By the way, this is a big reason why it's hard to find an apartment in Halifax, because a lot of them are taken up by these baby boomers. So now that the majority of this generation has downsized, it's decreasing our listing inventory very drastically at an alarming rate. So number 4, COVID. Yes, I know, everybody's favorite topic. So there are a few different ways how COVID has escalated our housing market to the situation that it is in today. But I will say this. I believe our housing market was headed in this direction anyway, but COVID definitely escalated the timeline to get to where we are right now. So first off, there are a ton of people working remotely more than ever before, and most of these people have actually transitioned to this style living forever, and they've been told by their employer they're not coming back. So with that, a lot of people are moving home from out of province back to Nova Scotia where they belong, and that's increasing the population again, increasing the demand on our market. Secondly, a lot of people, because of COVID, wanted out of the bigger markets because, let's face it, I understand that in Nova Scotia we are extremely upset and frustrated and just totally tired of the restrictions that we had to deal with in the last couple of years. But when you look at a lot of the bigger cities in Canada, we had it pretty good, guys. Let's be serious. So people from these bigger markets were coming to Nova Scotia for a better quality of life during COVID. Let's seriously think about it. Imagine living in Toronto in a condo on the 40th floor of a building during COVID. Not great, right? The quality of life in Nova Scotia was definitely pretty good during COVID compared to many places in Canada and most of the world for that matter. I know that I dealt with a lot of buyers over the last couple of years coming from Ontario who were all basically singing the same tune. Most of them were late 30s, early 40s, and they moved to Toronto for work or anywhere in Ontario for work when they were mid to late 20s. Now they have a couple kids, the grandparents are still in Nova Scotia, they're not getting any younger, and they've been thinking about moving home for years, but with work and everything and life gets so busy, they never really had that push that they needed, and then COVID was really that, you know, slap to get them to come back to Halifax because they're now working remotely, and it's a good excuse to finally make that jump. Oh, and by the way, these people coming from these major markets are usually coming with a lot of equity, meaning deep pockets, meaning big offers and minimal conditions. So reason number 5, we are still affordable. Now, before you jump down my throat and say that the Halifax pricing has gone crazy, I understand that, but I'm talking from a national level. We are still very affordable. And I understand if you grew up in Halifax, you think these prices are nuts. Honestly, I do too. But from a national standpoint, here's some stats for you. So around 1.2 million to get you an average home in Toronto or Vancouver last year. We're talking about 520,000 in Montreal, about 510,000 in Calgary. So just to put this into context, in 2021, our average sale price was right around $460,000. So a lot cheaper than some of these other major markets in Canada. Now, these numbers aren't 100% accurate right down to the dollar, but you get the point that I'm making here. I understand we think it's expensive, but the rest of the country thinks it's cheap. So there you have it. There's 5 reasons why our market has turned out the way it has here in Halifax and why it's really taken off. I hope this puts some of these news stories and articles you've read into some context for you of what we're actually seeing on the ground level. Now, there are a lot of reasons why we are where we are, but these are just some of the main ones. I'd love to hear what you think about the Halifax real estate market below in the comments, and if you want to book a time or schedule a meeting with me, use the calendar link in my description anytime that's convenient for you. Until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.